Hello, and welcome to Pittsburgh City Council's public hearing for Wednesday, July 17th, 2019. My name is Kim Clark Baskin, and I'm your Deputy City Clerk. With us today, we have our sign language interpreter, David Tatro. The following is a piece of legislation to be heard by Pittsburgh City Council. Bill number 1779, petition from the residents of the City of Pittsburgh requesting a public hearing before City Council relative to random and excessive bus route and stop changes by the Port Authority of Allegheny County without notice to the residents in the Morningside neighborhood. This petition was found to be valid and in accordance with the Home Rule Charter. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this Cablecast public hearing of Pittsburgh City Council for today, Wednesday, July 17th, 2019. We are here as it relates to a petition from the residents of the City of Pittsburgh requesting this public hearing. It has been numbered Bill 1779, and so, Madam Clerk, would you please read the purpose of Bill 1779?
Bill 1779, petition from the residents of the city requesting a public hearing before City Council relative to random and excessive bus route and stop changes by the Port Authority of Allegheny County without notice to residents in the Morningside neighborhood. The petition is valid in accordance with the Home Rule Charter.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. I'm Councilman Cross. I'm chairing this afternoon's public hearing. The hearing was petitioned by a gentleman named David Tessitore, who wished to have some issues around bus detours in the Morningside neighborhood addressed before Council. For whatever reason, Mr. Tessitore has chosen not to appear at a public hearing that he has requested the Council to hold on his behalf. I would only like to say that we are more than happy to accommodate the public request for public hearings to take place within the council chamber. The requirement is that 25 registered voters that are residents of the City of Pittsburgh can petition at any time to have a public hearing before City Council. But the catch in that is that when you sign the petition, you're signing that you agree to participate in that public hearing and come into council chambers to be part of the public hearing. So we only have two registered speakers, Yvonne Francine Brown, who's not present in chambers, and David Tessitore, the petitioner, and he is not here as well. What we have received, though, in terms of response from the Port Authority has come in to address some of Mr. Tessitore's concerns. I do have a communication. If you'll indulge me, I could read it. It is a little wordy maybe, but at least would have it on the record that the Port Authority has indeed responded to Mr. Tessitore's request. So in a letter dated June 24th, 2019, Mr. Dan DeBone writes to Mr. Tessitore, per our recent communications, please allow this correspondence to serve as Port Authority of Allegheny County's response to your concerns regarding the detours of Port Authority buses in the Morningside area over the past several weeks, as you originally expressed to Port Authority operators, personnel, and subsequently communicated to Port Authority's board via your submission provided on May 31 of 19, and further communication with Port Authority's board chairperson, chief executive officer, and myself. As you are aware, certain temporary changes in Port Authority bus service in the Morningside area have been made due to events outside of Port Authority's control and resulting from two separate public agencies simultaneously performing construction projects at multiple locations throughout the neighborhood. While we understand that the changes in the routes and the bus stops can be and have been frustrating, these changes have been necessitated by the location of the ongoing public works projects and the manner in which the work is being performed. As Port Authority is made aware of changes in locations of the work, Port Authority has been endeavoring to promptly advise its patrons of the timing and location of the needed changes. Again, the need for the changes is not the result of anything which Port Authority has done, but instead the changes are because of the ongoing projects. In light of the concerns that you have raised, however, Port Authority management personnel have held 2 recent face-to-face meetings with PWSA representatives, including a meeting held this morning that I personally attended. Based upon these meetings and the most up-to-date information that Port Authority has received from PWSA concerning the remaining Phase 1 of lead line replacement, contractor work in the Morningside area, Port Authority's operation management, personnel have issued a detour notice to Port Authority bus operators that will take effect for the 75 Ellsworth and 87 Friendship routes, beginning with the start of service on the morning of Tuesday, June 25 of 19, and ending with the completion of service on Friday, June 28 of 19. That will detour inbound bus service from its regular route onto Morningside Avenue between Baker and Vetter Streets. Bus service will otherwise be on its regular inbound routing on Jansen Street. Outbound bus service will remain on its regular routing on Chislett Street, except for an outbound detour onto the Morningside Avenue between Greenwood and Baker Streets. Absent extension of the Phase 1 PWSA contractor work due to weather-related issue or further unanticipated work conditions, all detours will be completed as of the completion of service on Friday, June 28 of 19, and buses will resume regular weekend and weekday service. Signs will be posted at all regular and detour stops to advise patrons of these detours, and our communications group will be issuing various social media updates. While the detour may not be precisely what you proposed, please be advised the Port Authority did consider your concerns and suggestions in completing the detour, but also had to consider other factors, including the current status of Phase 1 PWSA contractor work and trying to maintain as much consistency as possible in detours based upon detours that have been issued to date. New information received from PWSA today indicating that relevant portions of Jancy Street between Baker and Vetter Streets will be closed this week for further Phase 1 work, and trying to limit the travel distance to a stop that a patron may have to make to be no more than 2-block radius. While you may not agree with the latest and hopefully final detours of Phase 1 PWSA contractor work, Port Authority respectfully requests that you refrain from posting additional notices or information at the stops that may further confuse riders. Finally, concerning the planned Phase 2 PWSA contractor work, PWSA advised Port Authority today that the schedule for this work has not been finalized yet, but will take place sometime this fall. To ensure better agency collaboration moving forward, PWSA plans to include Port Authority in its project planning meetings with the City of Pittsburgh's Department of Mobility and Infrastructure. Based on these meetings, the Port Authority intends to issue notice to its patrons and the Morningside community before further detours for completion of Phase 2 work become necessary. Hopefully, the above adequately responds to your concerns, and if you have any additional questions or would like to discuss further, please let me know. We could make this available to anyone who wishes to perhaps see this for their own good. Would be happy to make this available to you via better to email the clerk's office. You can certainly email the clerk's office. We would be happy to share this communication with you. Councilwoman Harris has joined us, but Councilwoman, we only have 2 registered speakers and neither have shown, and so
I
not
would
sure.
like a copy of that.
Sure.
letter.
Here,
I
why
have
don't you
another
take
one
this
here.
while I have you, and I'll get another copy for myself.
Email to everybody. Thank you.
Okay?
My email has not worked for over a week. I just got it fixed.
Okay. All right, so with that, then, may I have a motion to adjourn the public hearing?
So moved. Second.